Are you a federally regulated employee or a provincially regulated one in Ontario? How's it going, guys? Andre Issa here, your friendly neighborhood employment lawyer, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not you are a federally regulated employee or a provincially regulated one. Now, before jumping into it, guys, a brief legal disclaimer as always: none of what I'm about to say constitutes legal advice, it's just legal information. Okay, with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. So, I want to start off by explaining to you all why this is so important. And the reason why it's so important is because different laws apply to you depending on whether you are federally regulated or provincially regulated. Specifically, federally regulated employees are governed by the Canada Labour Code, which has its own separate set of sections and regulations and rules. By contrast, if you are provincially regulated, you are governed by the Employment Standards Act, the Ontario version specifically, which also has its own separate and distinct set of sections and rules and regulations. So it's important to note which one applies to you so that you know what rights you have. So whether or not you are federally regulated or a provincially regulated employee depends on the Constitution Act of 1867, which splits the law of work into two separate jurisdictions, the first one being federal and the other one being provincial. An example of an area of work that would be considered federally regulated would be the banking sector, for example. That is federally regulated. So for example, if you work for TD Bank, you would be a federally regulated employee. Generally speaking, however, over 90% of employees are provincially regulated. So, how do you know for certain whether you're federally regulated or provincially regulated? Well, the only way to know for certain is if you contact an employment lawyer who understands the separate jurisdictions and which one would apply to you. Again, this is a very important question because if you believe that your rights are being violated or you have issues at your workplace, different laws apply to you depending on whether you are a federally regulated employee or a provincially regulated one. So, with that in mind, if you would like to know whether you are a federally regulated employee or a provincially regulated employee, you're welcome to contact me or any other employment lawyer in Ontario to find out which one applies to you. This has been Andre Issa, your friendly neighborhood employment lawyer. Until next time.